McGregor's UFC run was a masterclass in dominance and showmanship. His razor-sharp trash talk and larger-than-life persona turned every fight into a global event. But it was his in-cage brilliance that cemented his legend. Here's a deep dive into the victories that defined his meteoric rise. 2013. McGregor vs. Max Holloway, UFC Fight Night 26. Early in his UFC journey, McGregor faced a young Max Holloway, who'd later become a featherweight king. McGregor dominated with surgical striking and fluid movement, cruising to a unanimous decision. This fight showcased his technical brilliance and hinted at his potential to rule the division. 2014. McGregor vs. Dustin Poirier, UFC 178. McGregor's star power was undeniable as he took on Dustin Poirier. With his signature bravado, he predicted a first-round finish and delivered. A perfectly timed left hand dropped Poirier in under 2 minutes, proving McGregor's trash talk was backed by lethal skill. 2015. McGregor vs. Chad Mendes, UFC 189. Facing elite wrestler Chad Mendes on short notice for the interim featherweight title, McGregor was pushed to his limits. Mendes' grappling tested him early, but McGregor's resilience and striking prowess shone through, landing a second-round TKO with brutal precision. This win proved he could handle top-tier grapplers. 2015. McGregor vs. Jose Aldo, UFC 194. The defining moment of McGregor's career. After months of psychological warfare, he faced featherweight king Jose Aldo, unbeaten for a decade. In a jaw-dropping 13 seconds, McGregor landed a single, perfect left hand, knocking Aldo out cold to claim the featherweight title, the fastest title fight finish in UFC history. This iconic knockout etched McGregor's name in the record books. 2016. McGregor vs. Nate Diaz, UFC 196 and UFC 202. Stepping up to welterweight on short notice, McGregor faced Nate Diaz in a high-stakes clash. The first fight saw Diaz submit McGregor in the second round, handing him a rare loss. But the rematch at UFC 202 was a 5-round war, one of the most thrilling fights in UFC history. McGregor edged out a majority decision, showcasing his heart, adaptability, and refusal to back down. 2016. McGregor vs. Eddie Alvarez, UFC 205. At Madison Square Garden, McGregor delivered a masterclass against lightweight champion Eddie Alvarez. His second-round TKO, marked by surgical striking, earned him the lightweight title, making him the first UFC fighter to hold titles in 2 weight classes simultaneously. This was McGregor at his peak, untouchable and iconic. McGregor vs. Donald Cerrone, UFC 246. After a hiatus, McGregor returned with a vengeance, obliterating veteran Donald Cerrone in just 40 seconds with a barrage of shoulder strikes and kicks. This lightning-fast knockout reminded the world of his unmatched speed and power. These victories didn't just build McGregor's legacy, they transformed the UFC into a global juggernaut. His pay-per-view numbers shattered records, and his flair for promotion, think tailored suits, razor-sharp quips, and that iconic strut, brought MMA to mainstream audiences worldwide. McGregor wasn't just a champion, he was a cultural force.
Myself, engage how I feel.